The review of Playmats.eu gaming mat. This company is from Poland. They've been operating for quite some time now. On their website you can find around 39 designs, variations of their mats. They offer mats in different sizes, 36 by 36 inches, 48 by 48 inches, and most importantly 72 by 48 inches. What makes this company special is that they offer two-sided mats for the ones of you who want variation for a little bit of extra money. So without further ado, let's kick off the review and see the first test. Okay guys, so this is the mat from Playmats.eu and this is the first test. The first test of being rolled up for 24 hours and then unrolling it and seeing how it plays and how it, how it lays out on the table. So we've got a table over here that I usually play my games on, and the battle reports you can see on my blog. So let's roll it up. Sorry. Right. So as you can see, it has been rolled up quite tightly. Let me just align it to the edges of the table so it looks nice. That's what you would usually do while you're playing with your friends. Okay, so you can see the edge is a bit stretched, is sticking out. But to be honest, there's not much gameplay going on the very edge, and you would still have a building over here or something, so it's not a big of a difference comparing to the mats that are made from a mousepad material. So I think that's pretty cool, and you can see, as you can see, the mat itself looks awesome. There's a road, there's the sand, but when it comes to design, we'll have another section for that. The other test that I wanted to make is the test of being folded. So what I want to do is to fold the mat, because sometimes obviously you're not able to take the mat as it is in a rolled up form because of, I don't know, many reasons. You don't want to stand out in the crowd, carrying a huge tube like the one over there by the wall. So you want to roll it up and put it in your backpack. So let's see what happens if I fold the mat and just press it like that. So I'm just making the edge, that I think simulates what would happen in your backpack if it got squished by your books, your army case, and things like that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we see that, I'm not sure if you can see it, yeah, you can see that. The sharp bend is there, but to be honest, it's disappearing slowly. All right, it hasn't damaged the design, it hasn't damaged the collet layer, so I think it's fine. And I was pressing quite hard, you could see my fingers are almost white. I'm not going to do it in the same place, let's just do it another place, over here. Right, let's see. Okay, so it stays there, but it's nothing that would stop me from playing on this mat anymore. It looks good, and it's going to disappear when you stand up, and you can't really see it. No, you can't really see it. Okay, here. Those bends, just by the way. When you put the camera next to, at an angle to the light, you can see it. Let's try to fix it. Let's try to sort of roll it up like that, and see if it's gonna. We can get rid of it. No, it's still there. It's still there, but it didn't damage the layer of the mat, so I think the test has passed to a quite, reasonable standard. This is my testing equipment. Paper, water, and some ice-cold vodka. The vodka is here for two reasons. First, the most important reason, I'm going to drink it afterwards. But as you know, the cold drinks that you sometimes put on a table leave wet marks. So I'm just going to leave it for here. on this table for a couple minutes, and we'll see how it, if it's gonna stain the mat. And with the water, I'm just gonna spill it out on the mat, and let's see what happens. Oh, that's better angle, I think. As you can see, the water is not going anywhere in the mat. It just pulls nicely. So I guess if you're a clumsy person, yeah, I can move it on the mat. Hold on, let me just do one test. Yep, awesome. Completely water resistant mat. Again, if you're a clumsy person, get this mat, because it's going to save your life. Well, maybe not life, but your mat definitely. And let's try to clean it up now. Right. Looks good. Looks good to me. It's hard doing this one-handed. I'm not sure how some of the guys do the battle reports with one hand, but seems like a hard job. Okay, so the drink. Right, so this is cold water. And can you see it? Yeah. Yep. So I can't see any marks at all. Nothing. I think that's due to, I know it's due to the material that is used on the mat. It's kind of a PVC material that you can see on banners outside, outside. And that makes it, they have these banners have to stand out hard weather, cold, snow, and rain, most importantly. And don't forget, this mat is double-sided, and this side is exactly the same. So we can do it on this side as well, and it's going to bring us to the same results. All right? So, off to the next test. So, reflections. Does this mat reflect light in an annoying way? I think you can answer this question just by watching the previous part. Yeah, this mat is a bit annoying with this. I've got a huge light over here. That's a 400 watt light. So it's quite strong, and it's reflected on the mat quite significantly. I think if I place my hand over here, you lose focus, you might have problems on weaker cameras, and that might pose an issue. If you don't record battle reports, that's not going to be an issue at all, because from a viewer's angle, it's not a problem at all. You can see your models, and that's not an issue if you just want to play the game, if it's in a tournament setting and there's plenty of diffused light. But if you want to do something like that, no, you've got reflections. But obviously you've got reflections on my normal table that I usually play. So I guess you can scratch that if you don't mind a little bit of glare on your videos. Thickness. The thickness of Playmats.eu mat is not great, but do you really need a thick mat? The thicker it is, the heavier it is. The heavier it is, the more uncomfortable it is to carry around. This mat is quite thin. It's like 1 millimeter. And obviously there must be 3 layers at least. One with printed side, the other one with printed side, and something in between. You can't really tell on the mat itself. You can't really... Yeah, actually you can if you look closely. If you look close, I'm not sure if it's gonna zoom in. Let me just check. You can see that there's something in between. Probably cloth of some sort to keep it all together and make the mat foldable, and so the printed side doesn't fall apart. So as mentioned in the previous section, this mat has 3 layers. It's made out of PVC, which is completely different to other mats that I'm going to review in this series. Is it an innovation? Definitely, in my opinion, it is, because it allows for 2-sided printing, unlike the other mats that only allow for 1-sided print. and a rubber layer on the bottom. The only cool thing is that this mat weighs only 1.2 kilo, so that's not a lot. You can actually roll it up, put it in a bag or in a tube, and carry it around, playing with to play at your friend's place or on a tournament. Now let's test the sound of dice. What I'm going to do, I'm going to throw some dice, but before I do that, I want to show you how the buildings, if you base your buildings like that, I'm going to show you how it feels to move them around and if they move easily on the table. So these buildings, obviously if I push them, they move, but they don't slide very much. They stay on the surface, but in my opinion this building is quite clean underneath. This one is not, and you can hear the sound difference that I would be worried that I'm going to scratch the surface. Hopefully I'm not going to scratch it. So listen to that. You can hear a grain of sand somewhere. Yep, but the other building is clean, so it's not a big issue. Flat surfaces like this one actually suck to the surface of the mat and it stays in place. But let me grab some dice and throw them in front of you so you can hear the sound of dice. Okay? This mat is placed on a MDF, 6mm MDF or 10mm MDF, so it doesn't really cushion the dice, so they bounce right back. And here's what happens when you throw it from, straight up. They bounce all over the place, but that's not a big issue. You just need to throw them gently. Design. In this section, I'm going to show you up close the design of the mat itself. I'm going to discuss the layers. I've worked a little bit in Photoshop. I've tried designing my own mats, so I know what's the challenge where's the challenge in here. And I'm going to go through some of the bits that are interesting on this mat. So first of all, the thing that you see the most on this mat is the road. The road is built from, well, some concrete. I wouldn't call it concrete because it's very brownish, but obviously there are lines, American style, single yellow line on the edges and white lines in the middle. There's plenty of detail work in the street, in the road. Plenty of cracks, small cracks, like different stone here and there. Over here you've got some panels. Some huge panels, probably to place some buildings on later on, and obviously craters. Here and there you've got craters, you've got 1 and 2, 3 big craters, so not too much, just enough to draw your attention. There are some sections of metal sheets being thrown around, very rusty. You can see that's quite well designed. In 2 places we've got barrels. To be honest, these look quite flat and they look like graphics. They don't look like a 3D object, but it's still nice detail, nice touch. There's plenty of cracked dirt, I would say, in one of the corners, and that's very well blended. The biggest struggle that I had when I was designing my own mat, when I tried to do it, when I had the idea, was to work out how to do the blends between, for instance, this layer and this one, and how to blend this crater. The artists on this map did it very well. The bushes don't stand out a lot, and they add a little bit of color. I'm not sure if you can see it on the camera, because I can see from on the little screen that it's flattening down a little bit the colors, but I can guarantee that these bushes are green. And they are not too green, just green enough. What's very interesting on this mat, that you've got plenty of tire marks here and there, and they are very well scaled. I really enjoy that. There are some mats that have tire marks scaled badly, and I didn't want to review those mats, so Luckily on this mat, you can see the like vehicles entering the mat, entering the battlefield from this place, and there's plenty of skid marks, tire marks over here, and tire marks over there. So that looks very cool. The bushes don't appear too often, and there are not many of them. There's just one section over here, one section over there, and just a small section over here and there at the very edge. So all in all, I think this mat is pretty cool, very well designed. Very important thing, it will not draw attention away from your models. So it's well designed, it's nice, it's full of detail, but it's not overfilled with detail work and intricate graphics. So it builds the background for your models, not the other way around. Your models will not be the background. And if you join it with nice scenery, it would look very nice. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're gonna visit the links down below. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, subscribe, like, and do all this YouTube stuff. If you found me on Facebook, like this post, share it, do whatever you need to do to spread the word around that there is a comparative mat review going on around the internet now. Underneath the video on YouTube, you've got links to the website, you've got links to the mat itself, the specific mat that I was reviewing, or actually in this case 2 mats that I've been reviewing. So go there, click the links, visit the manufacturer's shop, and make up your mind, buy a mat, because this is the most amazing thing that has come out in wargaming industry in the last years, like forever. Okay? I see you guys around, maybe in another review.